Tomas, I'm so, Tomas doesn't even want to record tonight because we sat through a god awful show to end this 2004 retrospective. Armageddon from December. What date was this? Was this? No, this was not my 8th birthday. As a matter of fact, thank God. But
December 12th, 2004.
yep.
I feel bad for the city of Duluth, Georgia. They got the worst show ever. And if there was a pay-per-view to sum up 2004 in a nutshell, it's this one.
This
SmackDown was probably
really?
in the worst. Yeah, '04 was terrible.
I don't know if I'd
Following
say
Rumble,
terrible.
No
I
Way
thought
Out, Mania.
Yeah, Rumble, No Way Out, Mania were all good. Backlash was great. Bad Blood I thought was good. I mean, Survivor Series I liked, but uh yeah, this was not as good of a year as I
Let's
remembered
just
it, and this
say
is just the
mid
yeah.
mid 2005, we're gonna have another draft, and SmackDown was in desperate need of a draft because
Hmm.
this was just SmackDown was plagued with injury releases. You look at this card, and all of the main eventers are clumped into one match. The other main eventers are in a god awful scenario. Your up and comer is kayfabe injured, and then a guy you're trying to push is actually injured. It's just all bad. This
Yeah.
is the show is awful. You have two of your most popular baby faces clumped in a random tag team. This was just awful.
God, what
And
is it?
this
With
opener,
what is it with Armageddon being like a shitty show up until like 2006?
name, yeah, name one good December pay per view post Attitude
Armageddon
Era.
Armageddon 2000 was a really good show. I thought I really enjoyed that.
I say post Attitude Era.
Post Attitude Era, Armageddon
You
2008, I
can't.
remember being good. 2007 I thought was a good show. Um,
Oh, yeah, fair, fair.
I enjoy Armageddon 2006 as well. That's a guilty pleasure. So yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't bring up TLC 2018, the show we were at.
Well, I mean, I was thinking of the Armageddons. I wasn't thinking about
Oh,
tables, ladders, and chairs. But
I
yeah.
was thinking about December pay per views in general.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, the TLC 2018 was a good show, but Armageddon 2004 is probably one of, if not the worst December pay-per-view you'll ever see. Uh, I thought I
It
had
is,
fond memories
and
with it, but I don't. I don't. This
this
show is not good.
opener, I have so many fucking issues with. It's the rematch nobody asked for. It's Rob Van Dam and Rey Mysterio defending the WWE Tag Team titles. You heard me right, defending the WWE Tag Team titles against Kenzo Suzuki and Rene Dupree.
How
And this
how do they
match
win the
is
titles, Tomas? How do they win them?
this is the byproduct of something that I can't fucking stand when WWE does. So this match was originally supposed to be Suzuki and Dupree defending the titles, but after a kerfuffle on SmackDown, literally 3 nights prior, between two women that aren't even in this match, one that's not even involved in this match at all, Tori Wilson and Kyoko, I
Hiroko.
think that's her name, Hiroko, thank you. They got into a little spat, and the commentators described this as they were trying to rip each other's clothes off, which is just uh, and
2004.
so Suzuki, Dupree, RVD, and Mysterio get involved, and Teddy Long comes out and makes it a tag team title match playa. And Ray and RVD win the tag team titles 3 days before the pay per view. So you get the title change on free TV, and you have to pay for the shitty rematch. In this match, RVD and Rey Mysterio should not be a tag team. Suzuki and Dupree turns out should not be a tag team. And this is one of the
Let's
most
see.
boring tag team title matches I've ever seen in my life.
17 minutes.
17 fucking minutes.
It was longer than the No
Suzuki,
Mercy match.
Dupree, Ray, and RVD should not be working almost 20 goddamn minutes. This was fucking boring. Nothing happens in this match except for the 420 leg drop, which I always get a kick out of.
Yeah, 4 legs and 20 is the combined shoe size, Michael Cole confirmed. You said it was 4 legs and 20 toes on a previous pod. Michael
I
Cole
did, which
indeed was like, 4 legs and 20 is the combined shoe size. And I'm like, oh,
and
I'm going to
Vince
have to talk to Tomas
bought
about that one. What?
it. Vince bought it.
Mm-hmm.
RVD famously tells the story of that's the only reason why they were allowed to call that because he told Vince that bogus explanation and Vince believed him.
I mean, listen, I'll give these guys credit for trying a couple of unique spots in this match. Like, there was a nifty little sunset flip Ray was going to do, and Van Dam did a drop kick on Dupree to set up the victory roll and everything like that. But yeah, you should not be putting Kenzo Suzuki in an 18-minute match in 2004. That's for damn sure. Because he did not didn't really
fucking.
Yeah, there was
bad.
So, like, Rey Mysterio has like 2 or 3 different heat segments in this thing, doesn't he?
He does, and it's just like it just drags and drags and drags. And honestly, Dupree and Suzuki's offense is nothing to write home about. It's just rest holds and knee drops, and then they fake out the hot tag to RVD like several times. And after the 3rd attempt, you think RVD's going to get the tag, and Suzuki just drags him back in the corner, and it's just like, put me out of my fucking misery with this match.
God. Can I also say that one entertaining thing was Rene Dupree doing the French tickler dance on top of Rey Mysterio?
That's the highlight of the match.
And we get the first instance of the Taz French tickler jingle, which is just the funniest thing hearing him sing that. But
it's just Taz being Taz, and every single time Dupree goes for the French tickler, which honestly I don't even know what it's supposed to be. I think it's a drop forearm, but Dupree never connects with it. He basically does like this little leap across his opponents, and Taz will go, I'm a Frenchman, I'm a French tickling man, and
I'm a French tickler guy.
It's just it's Taz being Taz.
Yeah.
Rest in peace AEW Dark, because you're not going to get the infamous squabbling between Excalibur and Taz anymore.
No. You're going to get that on Dynamite instead.
Mysterio finally gets the hot tag to RVD.
After like, what, 3 hours of action?
Yeah, exactly. I love how RVD takes a million years to set up for the Rolling Thunder. Like, he body slams Dupree, and then like he just takes his time setting Dupree up for the spot. It's like, do you need that much prep time for this move? Oh, let me share a fun fact with you, unrelated. My dad hates RVD for some reason.
Really?
Growing up, he just hated RVD every single time he saw him.
Because he was a stoner?
Just, like, had this disdain for him. No, he just had this disdain for RVD. And I'll give him credit. He had a fun taunt for him. He would always go, Rob Van Dam, you suck.
Oh.
It was good. But his 2 reasons for hating RVD is that he hated the Rolling Thunder because he said it hurts RVD more than it hurts his opponent. And he also hated how much RVD sold the 5-star frog splash after he connected for the same reason.
I was just gonna say, if Van Dam's moves hurt himself more than they hurt his opponents, yeah, he sells that 5-star frog splash quite a bit on himself. Like, he just broke his ribs doing the maneuver.
Like, I kind of, years later, I kind of get where my dad was coming from. RVD's psychology in the ring sometimes doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. Sure, he's a good high flyer, but he's not a storyteller in the ring. He is the definition of he's a spot guy. He was a spot guy before it was cool.
Yeah. So Van Dam gets this hot tag, and it's probably the most exciting portion of the match for this crowd in Atlanta, Georgia. Double 619 by Mysterio. Suzuki is eliminated, thrown out of the ring. Van Dam hits Dupree with the 5-star frog splash, and Van Dam pins and retains the titles for his team. Was there any doubt? They just won them 3 nights before. Don't get used to RVD and Rey Mysterio as a tag team, though, because unfortunately, Rob Van Dam would suffer a debilitating leg injury, I believe at a house show the next month, tore his ACL, tore his meniscus. He'd be out for the entirety of 2005. So this is going to be the last time we're going to talk about Van Dam for quite a while.
Yeah, and it sucks too because once he returns, it doesn't get much better for Van Dam. He would just the rest of his career in WWE would just be plagued with bad luck, whether it be injuries or suspensions or just
Arrests.
yeah, between '05 all the way to his release in '07. Yeah, we're not going to be really talking about RVD for that much longer. So it sucks to see him go out on a whimper like this.
Mm-hmm.
But considering RVD's injury and what Rey Mysterio is going to be doing next, hang on tight because Rey Mysterio has been in mid-card purgatory for all of 2004. You think they wouldn't have something for Rey to do, but it's going to kick into high gear soon. But
They
for this
absolutely do. They absolutely do. And not to bury the lead, there's not really a whole lot to talk about with this match. I'm going to give it a 1.75 stars. Maybe it was really boring.
Generous. I'm going to give it a star.
Wow.
Way too fucking long, way too boring, had no business being on this pay-per-view whatsoever. Talk about JBL running out of opponents. JBL versus RVD. You wouldn't want to see that.
Why the fuck not? JBL versus Rey Mysterio for the WWE title. But, oh, yeah, Vince McMahon was against cruiserweights going after the world title at that point.
Yeah, so it's just like this match had no business even existing. And
may I remind you, sorry to cut you off, Tomas, may I remind you that Vince McMahon was hesitant to put the WWE title on Eddie Guerrero last February of 2004. He was hesitant to do that. So, and you, the fans, actually got Vince to listen, and he did put the title on him. I mean, albeit Eddie Guerrero, couldn't really handle the pressure of being the top guy, so he dropped it to JBL, ironically, but Vince would never have put the title on that guy if we did not convince him. So
yeah, it's just this match had no business existing. It was a match ran back from a pay-per-view like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So it's like nobody asked for this. Nobody go back to our No Mercy review, and I said it there, and I'll say it again. RVD and Mysterio should have won the tag team titles right then and there, and just carried the titles for the rest of the year if they were really that desperate for something for RVD and Mysterio to do. But yeah, this match is a star. It's awful. Guys, it's not going to get much better from here.
No, it's really not. So up next, we're not getting to the tough enough stuff yet because Kurt Angle walks down to the ring with his authentic Olympic gold medal carried by some security guards that he won in Atlanta in 1996, and he's in the same city here. And he says that he is conducting what is known as the Kurt Angle Invitational, where he picks a hometown hero, so to speak. It's a local worker. This is where you get introduced to people like Matt Stryker in the WWE, in the WWE chronology, I guess you can say. The Kurt Angle Invitational is mainly brought in for Angle to work 3-minute squashes and put himself over as, I'm the legitimate gold medal athlete. But what does he do? It's Christmas, December, so he's like, I'm calling out Santa Claus for the Kurt Angle Invitational. And this fucker comes out, and this would later become Vito, by the way. Nunzio's heavy.
No, it's Domino.
No, it's definitely Vito. Look it up on
Domino.
Wikipedia.
Look at the hair. Look at the hair.
It is Vito.
I did my research too. It is Domino.
Are you sure about that?
Look at the nose.
Look it on Wikipedia. Click on Santa Claus on Wikipedia on the results. You'll see it. It's Vito.
Anywho, yeah, Kurt Angle is going on and on about he's jealous because his daughter doesn't want to talk about Kurt Angle. All she wants to do is talk about Santa Claus, which brings up a really good point. If you guys go on Peacock, there is a Barney the Dinosaur documentary. And there is a man that literally has this mindset where he is so mad and jealous, irrationally jealous, that his kid only wants to talk about Barney the Dinosaur instead of him, that he created like this cult that hated Barney, and it reminded me of this. Kurt Angle is so mad that this fictional character, this fictional figment is, God forbid his kid loves Santa Claus.
Sorry.
He wants
Sorry to disappoint all the children out there who may be watching this. We just ruined
children are watching her.
No.
But he's so consumed by this, he wants to beat the shit out of Santa Claus. And what do you expect this match to be? Lockup, angle slam, ankle lock, tap out. It's not a match. It was just there. And honestly, I don't know why this was here.
He's just a sexy Kurt. This was mainly put in there to, kill time on pay-per-view. This could have very easily been done on a SmackDown,
They could have
but
done it on Heat. They
they
literally could have done this on the
could have.
pre-show.
Yeah, but Vince was like, "No, we gotta fill the 2-hour and 40-minute quota,"
Oh boy,
Goodness. Speaking of filling time,
fucking hell! Talk about a bad memory from my childhood. The $1 million Tough Enough challenge, and let me tell you guys something: Tough Enough has and always will be cursed. This is the most pointless show to ever be conjured up by the WWE. It's basically Vince's wet dream when it comes to picking his next star. They take a bunch of reality TV or college athlete like they do in WWE, but these guys are like put on the spotlight. All of these, jacked up bodybuilders, all of Vince's favorite type of people. And it's all men, by the way. There's no women included in this because they have the Diva search for that. Fuck off, Vince. But and they put them in this reality TV show like series, and they compete in competitions, and they do like it's the mid 2000s, so think like a Real World or Survivor or something like that. It's like WWE's take on that, and the winner would get $1 million and a WWE contract. I remember this happening as a kid. And I remember at one point, Tough Enough took up like a whole half an hour block on SmackDown.
It did.
To the point where I was watching it, and like 15 minutes in, I was like, am I still watching SmackDown? Is this ever going to end? And yeah, like WWE was really committing a lot of TV time to this. And we got some people in this competition that would go on to be big names in the WWE. Like the Boogeyman. I know you don't want to talk about the Boogeyman.
Oh, God. Okay, so the Boogeyman actually never appeared on an episode of SmackDown because there was an age limit. There was a 30-year-old age limit to be on the $1 Million Tough Enough. And before the competition could even start on television, Al Snow, who is Tomas's favorite wrestler and the Tough Enough head coach, Al Snow goes up to the Boogeyman and he's like, or Marty Wright in this case, he's like, "How old are you?" And he's like, 30. How old are you? 30. What does your birth certificate say? 64. That's right. I'm 40. It's an inside joke, like for everybody.
It's a meme. It's a meme within the wrestling community. We got guys like that, but then in the finalists, you got Ryan Reeves, who will go on to become a Ryback. You got was Dolph Ziggler in this thing? I could have swore Dolph Ziggler was in this thing.
No.
Okay.
No,
you're thinking looked like Ziggler.
You're thinking of a different member of the Spirit Squad, Nick Mitchell.
Oh, you're right. Mitch.
Yeah.
Mitch was in there. But among everyone that was in, there was a guy named Justice in there, I think, that he was a top guy. He was a favorite of everybody. I don't remember much of Tough Enough. But But basically, they were getting down to the nitty-gritty of this. And in this video package, and here's the reason why we're talking about a lot of this, because the next match is not really much to write home about, so it's better to talk about all the Tough Enough stuff. Once the 10 finalists got on the TV, they did stuff like cutting promos. They did a body slam. Yeah, they did a body slam challenge with the Big Show. And let me remind everybody, this all was shoot. Like, this was not scripted. These were like actual, shoot situations, including an infamous one. Kurt Angle, without telling anybody on the Tough Enough roster, came out to the ring and said, "You're all going to wrestle 60-second exhibitions against me and see how you can fare." Daniel Puder.
Can I cut you off real quick? What happened is Kurt Angle, what I believe happened is he lined up all the Tough Enough contestants on the outside of the ring, and he said, "Whoever can do the most push-ups gets a 30-second exhibition with me." And the winner was not Puder, but it was a young lad by the name of Chris Naraki, who was injured. And Kurt dispatches of him easily. And then he's like, "I'm just getting warmed up. Who else wants a piece of me?" And then
Puder.
That's where Puder comes into play. Yeah.
And this is infamous. And we'll get to Daniel Puder later. But Puder not only out wrestles Kurt Angle, but breaks his fucking arm with the Kimura lock.
Tries to break his arm. Yeah. if he had that Kimura in 1 second longer, Kurt's arm would have been snapped in two.
And Angle was furious. He was
Mm-hmm.
embarrassed. He was humiliated. And let me say this right now: you challenged a guy to a fight and you lost, and you're mad, and now you're gonna get heat on this kid. I'm sorry, you challenge someone to a shoot fight and you lose. That's all on you. You have no one to blame but yourself. But we'll get into that much later. But let's just say right now, that's how Daniel Puder got into a lot of hot water with
Mm-hmm.
with people in the WWE. And then they go on to do Tori Wilson's sex challenge, which they were trying to win like a makeout session with Tori, but it ended up being the Fabulous Moolah because of course it did.
Yep.
And then this is something I forgot about.
Good Lord, the transphobic like shit that went on. They basically had to cross dress and try to seduce one hardcore Holly.
And Holly just outed himself as the biggest transphobe on the planet because the
Yeah.
looks on his face, which props to the guys. You know, I have a lot of respect for them for doing that. That was really freaking cool how committed a lot of them were to the drag. But Holly was just like, I look at his face like, oh, you just outed yourself as the biggest transphobe on the
He
planet.
sure did. He sure did.
But it all came down to this. The final two members are Daniel Puder and Mike the Miz Mizanin. Yes, this is the
Oh,
Miz's WWE pay-per-view debut. This is when he was just known as the real world guy. But here's the thing, from watching this competition now here, the Miz had, style and charisma even back then. He was, because they cut to these promos that these guys are doing, and Pewter's promo is fucking cringe. He's tripping over his
yeah.
words. He can't cut a promo. His promo skills are awful, but The Miz actually cuts a solid promo
He
because what are
does.
they going to compete in? They're going to compete in a Dixie Dog Fight,
A
which is
what?
basically a
A
boxing
what?
match.
A Dixie dog. Why is it called a Dixie dog fight? We've never like this is a mystery that still remains unsolved. Why not just call it a freaking boxing match? Why does it have to be a Dixie dog fight? Like, it doesn't add up to me. But you're right. The Miz, like looking at it, like this is the 8-year-old who was watching the Tough Enough, and Miz was my favorite easily out of the crop. I wanted him to win. This is before I knew that Daniel Puder actually hails from the Bay Area, very close to where we're from. He was built from Cupertino. But basically, they go in there, and it is like, these guys aren't trained boxers. And this is basically Al Snow on commentary saying, this is the contestants' last opportunity to prove why they are tough enough in the WWE. You know, if they wanted to really hone their skills and prove what they learned on a wrestling competition, maybe have a fucking wrestling match. Like,
Because here's the thing: they go through all of this pageantry and this, they're hyping this so much up, and they got like a special boxing referee, and they got the guy who runs the Atlanta, the sports commission guy there, and they have
I don't
like
care.
two special trainers. And again, yeah, I don't fucking care. Like they go through all this in the beginning of the match because this is a 3-minute fight, and you got Snow, Cole, and Taz trying to call a fucking boxing match when they've never done that before. And again, what do you want us to say about this match? It's
Zero
it's just
stars.
them throwing punches at each other, and it's not fun. Like nothing. Here's the thing: when it comes to reviewing this, I'm not a boxing fan. I don't
No,
know how to review a boxing fight.
you
I'm a
can't.
professional wrestling fan. And nothing against anyone who likes boxing. Like boxing is cool and all, but I'm not a boxing fan. So I don't know what you want me to say about this fight. And these guys aren't boxers. And why didn't they just do a 5-minute exhibition match just to
Why
see
not?
what they could do?
Why not? Yeah, maybe the Miz could surprise everybody in this, but no, these are just two untrained boxers throwing haymakers, and they're trying to build the Miz up as this Rocky Balboa style underdog in this, and I'm like, you're going in there against an Ultimate Fighter. You're from the real world. Of course you're gonna freaking lose.
Yeah, and it's like imagine training for like a ballet competition, and the minute you get there, they're like, okay, do hip hop.
Zero stars. Lesson not learned from Vince Russo putting on the Brawl for All in 1998. Why do you think that didn't work? Not only because it was all for shoots, and the guy they didn't want to win was actually the one who, put Dr. Death Steve Williams down on his ass, and like, like, of course you're gonna have Daniel Puder win, and then he's gonna win the $1 million. Like, he was dead in the water after that. Like,
yeah, we will get to Puder at the Royal Rumble.
yeah,
I will save all my thoughts for Mr. Puder at the Royal Rumble.
yeah.
Yeah, this was fucking terrible.
You don't say.
Get any better. It's not gonna get any better.
Yeah, this is just time filler here. It should be noted that The Miz was only 24 years old at the time of this pay-per-view, which is just crazy to think about. You know, how far he's come since then. I would say also, I'll just say this much for right now. I think out of all the tough enough contestants that we've seen, with all due respect to John Morrison, as a big fan of his, I think The Miz just might be the most successful tough enough contestant of all time. Like,
He 100% is.
because
I
like
can't wait.
not only because of where he is in the business right now and as an ambassador for WWE and everything, but he loves a bit of the business, and you could tell he was
Yeah.
passionate about it. So, all due respect to The Miz, man.
Why do you think The Miz now is WWE's go-to guy for everything when it comes to PA, when it comes to they know for a fact that you're always going to get a safe and solid program with The Miz. It's like The Miz is the gatekeeper of WWE now. AJ Styles, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Shinsuke Nakamura now that he's on Raw. Like all these guys, like Miz is the gatekeeper on Monday Night Raw now, and he is like such a solid worker. But I would love to sit here and gush about The Miz all night. I will say that for when he actually debuts. But oh my God, what do we have next?
So
match.
so hold that thought. There is a backstage segment at this time with Eddie Guerrero and Booker T discussing strategy for the main event. Eddie is basically saying, "You're bigger, Holmes. You take the Undertaker, and then I'll take JBL. I've beaten JBL before. I can do it." And Booker's like, "You're trying to put me up against the Undertaker, dog?" Undertaker sneaks up behind them, and he's like, "See, he heard everything you just said." Just like, building up that chemistry for what would become an iconic Pulp Fiction spoof in the build-up to WrestleMania Goes Hollywood. So,
and that segment right there was the most entertaining thing on the show so far.
Oh, yeah. Booker T and Eddie Guerrero. So, okay, just like you mentioned, we have JBL's new Secretaries of Defense, Doug and Danny, the Basham brothers, going up against Hardcore Holly and Charlie Haas. What he called a bonus match. Extra value for your dollar.
That's like if you got a meal at McDonald's and they slipped you an extra order of French fries, but they were stale and cold. That's what
and not salted.
Yeah, this match. You know what? I can't say anything about this match. The fans said it for me. This match got the boring treatment.
It did.
There was a boring chant. Why are Haas and Holly teaming up? Charlie Haas apparently has to be a special guest referee later on in the night. It's another match that doesn't need a beer. Nothing happens in this match.
Literally nothing.
Not a good team. If they're trying to build up the Bashams, I mean, they're already paired with the WWE champion. I don't think there's anything else you can do there. Randomly at the end of the match, Miss Jackie and Dawn Marie get involved, and they're supposed to be in the match later tonight. Haas is trying to break it up. My favorite part is when Hardcore Holly hits the Alabama Nuts Crush. That is the greatest name for a move I've ever seen in my life. And then Holly sees that Haas is distracted, and the Bashams beat Holly. The
Bashams do the switcheroo. Yeah, I'm going to give it half a star just because, I mean, there's a couple good, solid spots with Bob Holly in there, like the rope nut shot I really enjoy, but yeah, nothing really to note. It's a bonus match that was so we can talk
a bathroom break match.
Yeah,
7 minutes to go to the bathroom, 7 minutes to go get a snack. Perfect.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, they had plenty of other time to kill with Kurt Angle versus Santa Claus. The Dixie Dog Fight that you could have gone to the bathroom for, but we can talk about this next match for quite a bit, couldn't we?
We could, because you look at it and you wonder what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
It's John Cena versus Jesus in a street fight for the United States Championship. So, like we talked about in our Survivor Series review, Cena got his rematch against Carlito for the United States Championship, and Cena fucking demolishes Carlito because Carlito is legit injured. And what a perfect time to drop the United States title back to Cena. Uh, Teddy Long is talking about accusing Carlito of being the one to stab Cena at the nightclub. Carlito says, "Well, I don't hang around thugs." This conception that John Cena is a thug is the fucking funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Now, may
I
I
almost want
remind
to call
you?
it cultural appropriation. Like this current gimmick of Cena, he wishes he was black. I'm
May
sorry, there's no other way to put it. He
him,
wishes he was black.
him and his Ruck Fools t-shirt, and he's not doing battle raps anymore. He is transitioning into the John Cena that we all know and love nowadays. You know, hustle, loyalty, and respect, and all that jazz. But may I remind you, viewers, how distasteful it is to have a stabbing gimmick involving the son of Carlos Colon? Like,
Also,
and
again,
accuse him of being the one to orchestrate it and have his right-hand man be the one to actually do the stabbing?
it's it's just so they could have done anything to write Cena off of TV. They could have said Cena was jumped. They could have just said he was jumped. Cena was attacked in the alleyway of a nightclub.
Yeah.
They could have done anything to Cena, but a stabbing? Really? They were saying Cena was stabbed in the kidney and there's puncture wounds and he's fighting for his kidney. If that were the case, he'd be in a fucking wheelchair for at least a year.
Just gushing blood, losing it like a garden hose. But you don't get it, pal.
So fucking absurd.
You don't get it. John Cena's got to be my Superman. He's got to overcome the greatest of injuries. Yeah.
So since Carlito is injured and he can't work Cena at Armageddon, they just plugged Carlito's bodyguard Jesus in there, which I actually did some research. Jesus was actually working this match injured.
Was he now? That's interesting. With what?
He was. Let me look it up. I was, these random people that don't do much in WWE, I like to do research on them. And
Luther Reigns. Tomko. Mordecai.
Torn groin and 2 herniated discs in his back.
Jeez, no wonder he looks so stiff. So he had to be sent
off with surgery.
No wonder.
So yeah. Now you know why this whole angle was just fucking cursed from the start, with the distasteful storyline to Carlito legit getting injured 2 months after his debut, Jesus working injured. So it's like they had nobody else left on the card. So they're like, we have to do this match. We got to give the fans something because this match is shit. So what did we get? We got Cena beating the fucking shit out of this man for 8 minutes.
Jeez, yeah, it was
this is the most one-sided match I've ever seen in my life. I'm sitting here watching this saying, like, what did this poor man Jesus do to deserve this?
He stabbed John Cena in a nightclub.
Like, straight from the start, Cena attacks this man, punches the hell out of him. And then Jesus hits Cena with the Singapore cane, and Cena no-sells it. And he immediately tackles Jesus. He tackles him to the outside, clotheslines him over the barricade, and then he hits him with the stiffest kick I've ever seen Cena deliver.
Good Lord.
Hits him right across the fucking skull. And they replay that shit like 4 times.
Jesus blades off of Cena's bare knuckle punches to put over John Cena as a brawler. Has to be a brawler. Cena wasn't even hitting him with like any of his custom knucks either. He was just hitting him with bare knuckles. Disregard the ring here. He was hitting him with just bare knuckles. And Jesus, that's enough for Jesus to start gushing blood out of his forehead. Like, what, does Cena have titanium plates in his knuckles?
Apparently. And then Cena chases off Carlito. Carlito can't get physical because he's injured, but he still gets physical anyway at the end of the match. Cena is just beating the piss out of this man all the way around the arena. It's
Good
not
Lord.
even fun to watch. It's just
Throwing
sad.
trash on him.
Like
Literally burying him.
Jesus did not get one lick of offense in this entire match.
This was an 8-minute squash street fight. Like if you're curious of seeing what a squash match in street fight form looks like, it's this one. It's this one.
And the thing was, it wasn't even entertaining. There wasn't any fun spots, no table spots, no innovative, creative spots. Like I know Jesus was injured, but that doesn't mean that man can't fight back. So Cena beats the fucking shit out of this man all the way around the arena. He throws Jesus in the ring. He nails him with a street sign, and then he gives him the attitude adjustment, and Cena wins.
The F you.
Cena wins, and this prize chain of Cena. Cena's gimmick honestly makes me cringe now. The 04 to into the 05, it was just like okay, here's the thing. When Cena was a parody of Vanilla Ice, it worked and it was funny. But you see the 04 Cena, and it's just like, why is he trying so hard to be a gangster? That's what I don't get.
Are you a gangster or are you Superman now? Pick one. Pick one, please. You're stuck in the middle here.
We not talk about?
Yeah. So Cena comes out, and everybody's like, "Oh, Cena's got some new bling around his waist. That's a different style United States Championship that he has." And he looks out at the crowd. It's a circular design here, and the fucking title spins. And as a kid, honestly, when he made that entrance and he did the turntable thing, I was like, that title is really cool. I couldn't lie.
I want your honest thoughts about the U.S. Championship spinner belt.
Oh, I really dig it. I like that more than the WWE Championship spinner. Spoiler, but
see, because here's the difference. If this was Cena's custom and they knew that these titles were going to sell like hotcakes, and they probably did.
Oh yeah.
For the time being, with Cena being the champion, it worked. But you start giving that title to other wrestlers, that's when it loses novelty. That was the issue with the WWE Championship between the years of 2005 and 2013. God damn, they ran with that belt for 8 years.
They did, and it looked like a freaking toy on Triple H. It's like, try to give the Smoking Skull title belt that belonged to Stone Cold Steve Austin to Edge. It wouldn't work, would it? I mean, I don't want to bury the lead too much, but this match gets half a star.
It wasn't even entertaining. That's the thing. Squashes can be entertaining, but this was not. This was the humiliation of one Jesus. And I don't know what this man did to deserve this. After the match, Cena goes back to claim his prize chain, but Carlito tries to beat him to it, and Cena just wallops him in the face with the chain. Carlito goes down. And this feud was a fucking disaster. And it didn't need to be a disaster.
Yep.
It was just poor planning, terrible booking. Cena got his championship back. I remember having a lot more fun with this match as a kid, but this wasn't fun. This was boring.
Carlito gets nowhere near John Cena for at least another year in this retro. So
So Carlito not off to a hot start in his WWE career.
No, it's a shame. It's a shame because I liked Carlito. I know Tomas isn't that big of a fan of him, but
Carlito was mid.
Carlito, he's not mid. He's not mid. I like him. Okay, but you wish
fucking worse.
You wish this next match was at least mid. You wish. Charlie Haas is the special referee for Miss Jackie versus Dawn Marie. As Tomas likes to say, how did we get here?
Who fucking cares?
Jackie, indulge in this for a second. Jackie is engaged to Charlie Haas. They are madly in love, and they show that before the match. But rumors are floating around the locker room that Dawn Marie is trying to have an affair with Charlie. So, no fury like a woman scorned. So these two go in there, and Charlie has to be stuck in the middle of this nonsense. And he actually, bless the women's hearts, but the match, is really nothing. It's nothing.
1 minute.
Yeah, it's 1 minute. And Charlie Haas actually counts the 3 for Dawn Marie. And in the ring, he has the engagement ring that he gave Jackie in his pocket. And then he's like, listen, I'm done with your crap. We're through, Jackie. He goes and he gets down on one knee and he's like, Dawn, I just have one question for you. He does not ask her to marry him. He basically humiliates her in front of everybody. And this accomplished nothing. This accomplished absolutely nothing. Where did Charlie Haas's career go after this?
Nowhere.
Isn't he better in a tag team? What's Shelton doing on the other show right now? Let's see. He's the Intercontinental Champion.
Charlie Haas is irrelevant until 2007 when he reforms the world's greatest tag team with Shelton Benjamin.
One of the biggest Genettis if I ever saw one, that's for sure. But
this match gets a negative star.
Wow.
Because not only was the match absolutely pointless and nothing to write home about, the aftermath stuff was even fucking worse.
You know what? I'm going to go -1 star also. I was going to say 0, but I was going to say 0 and defend it, saying it was too short to be -1 star. But honestly, yeah, with how pointless it all felt and Charlie just humiliating both women after the fact, yeah, -1 star.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So,
believe it or not, it keeps getting worse. Remember back in No Mercy when I said Big Show and Kurt Angle actually worked a decent match, an entertaining match, a good match, because Big Show's not a bad wrestler.
He's not.
With the right opponents. Well, how about we do it again, but we put the giant ball and chain that is Mark Jindrak and Luther Reigns into the equation, because it's a 3-on-1 handicap match. Big Show versus Angle, Jindrak, and Luther.
I mean,
Tomas is set for pay-per-views and 3-on-1 handicap matches.
Now, what is it with Big Show and 3-on-1 handicap matches? I'll tell you. Big Show goes in there, and this feud, which should have been over, mind you. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with Kurt Angle in these feuds in 2004 going way longer than they need to. Like, his business with Eddie Guerrero is long done, but now it's like, okay, we just need some filler between Kurt and Big Show here to, bridge the gap between Survivor Series and the Royal Rumble, which we'll get to, because believe it or not, they're in that match together as well. But Big Show just basically, he dominates, and Reigns and Jindrak don't really... Kurt was working a little bit, and, like, one highlight I will tell you, Tomas, Kurt Angle's gear. Kurt Angle's gear was super freaking clean on this card. It's exactly like the iconic gear that you see him wear in SmackDown versus Raw 2006. That's where they got the idea, was from this pay-per-view. So, at least he got that one to write home about.
So the biggest issue with this match. Oh, also let's point out there are 2 women from the Diva Search that actually got prominent places on SmackDown after their stint in the Diva Search, and that is Joy Giovanni and Amy Weber. Joy Giovanni is Big Show's kayfabe girlfriend. She's kind of like, think of, I forget. Is she though?
Is she though?
Think of the girl. You're the movie buff. You're gonna have to help me with this. The girl from King Kong.
Oh yeah. Naomi Watts. If you're thinking
Watts, she's the Naomi Watts to Big Show's King Kong. She's just this tiny little thing that is infatuated by Big Show and wants to be there for him. It's a lot like what they did in 2012 with AJ Lee, with her, Big Show, and Bryan Danielson. It's just taking these girls.
That was Kane, wasn't it?
No, Big Show was involved with her too on SmackDown, like early 2012. Yeah.
I don't remember that at all. Ran her down. I do not remember that at all. I remember her in Kane, but I don't remember her in Big Show.
Maybe not to like the romantic aspect, but I remember AJ being used on SmackDown. Like,
gotcha.
It kind of reminded me of that. But anywho, Joy Giovanni gives Big Show a good luck kiss, and we'll get to Amy Weber later because she has a good prominent role on SmackDown right now. Those two, I kind of miss them. They didn't do much. They didn't do much, but they were good characters on TV, especially Amy Weber. I think she was underrated. I liked her. She could have been a good manager if they would have let her, spread her wings I think she could have been better than, say, Jillian Hall.
Yeah,
She could have been a
she
consultant.
definitely. I preferred Amy Weber over Jillian Hall as JBL's consultant. I
Consultant.
guess you can
Yeah.
say, yeah, consultant.
Anywho,
That's the title.
the
But
biggest issue I had with this match is that most of the heat segments were Jindrak and Reigns working over Big Show. We barely got to see Angle and Big Show work together in this match. I would have rather have seen Angle and Big Show ran back again, but with a stipulation.
maybe with a cage, around them. Yeah,
Yes.
that could have been fun. But Big Show's got to work a cage match in 2 months, so you don't want to get too repetitive.
But it's like they just wanted to put over the fact that Big Show was big and he can beat 3 men at once. And that's exactly what he does. Cole gets a little irritated near the end of the match, saying that the referee needs to, because the whole gimmick of this match is that Reigns, Jindrak, and Angle have to tag in and out. But you know what? I think this would have been a lot more entertaining if they just would have made it tornado rules. Can Big Show fight off 3 men at once, like legitimately? And it kind of breaks down to that, and Cole's getting irritated, saying the referee needs to restore order. Like, there are these times where the commentators legit get frustrated with the referees. Wait till Backlash 2005 when Jerry Lawler gets extremely irritated with the referee at that show. But honestly, the commentators have like a legit gripe against this. Like, Cole was like getting on the referee's case about not getting Jindrak and Reigns out of the ring, so it could have just been a tornado match. Big Show.
I
Big
agree.
Show has some unique offense in this match. I will give him that. He brings back the alley oop.
Love that move.
Yeah, and you want to tell us how Big Show won this match?
He hits Mark Jindrak with an F5, and he pins him. Who forgot that Big Show used an F5 as a move? They were, okay, again, I feel like this was partly WWE still being petty that Brock Lesnar was not with them, so they had to basically, stick that move onto somebody else. And Big Show was the one they were experimenting with, and it didn't really work. It was forgettable.
But with Big Show's size and his girth, it didn't look like that was a healthy move for him to be performing on such a regular basis.
No. The alley-oop definitely looks like a more healthy move for him.
And trust me, that looks like a dangerous move for someone to be taken from Big Show.
Yeah, credit to Mark Jindrak, the reflection of perfection, for taking that move from the Big Show.
And Taz would not shut the fuck up about calling it the F500. Like, Vince was screaming that into his earpiece. Make sure you call it that. Make sure you call it that. Make sure you call it that. It's like, you got to let stuff like that organically get over.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle really doesn't do anything in this match.
You don't understand. You don't understand. It's because Kurt Angle already had a hard-fought match with Santa Claus. So
you're right. You're right. He was too gassed. He was way too gassed to work this match.
Right.
A star and a half, mainly for Big Show's unique offense that he pulled off in this match.
Yeah, I'll match it. Star and a half. I mean, like, at least Big Show worked hard.
Yeah, it wasn't a horrible match, but it wasn't good.
And the crowd certainly seems to be getting behind the Big Show as a babyface here. He got a pretty good ovation coming out, and that'll lead to him getting not 1 but 2 shots at the WWE Championship on the road to WrestleMania, which we will talk about.
And you know what, man? At this point, I'm ready for the fucking main event. We still got one more match.
We do.
We get a pretty entertaining backstage segment with Funaki interviewing himself. Because Funaki is SmackDown #1 announcer, and he's interviewing himself about the Cruiserweight Championship. Spike Dudley comes in and, berates Funaki, saying like, oh, no one wants to interview you, so you have to interview yourself. And Funaki actually has a pretty damn good comeback. He says, knock, knock. Spike says, who's there? Funaki says, Armageddon. Spike says, Armageddon who? And Funaki says, Armageddon your title tonight. That was great.
He's a pun master. He's a pun master.
Great.
Funaki. So yeah, we go to that match now. Spike Dudley, the boss, defending the Cruiserweight Championship against Funaki. Spike Dudley, the boss of what now? Where are his Dudley boys, Tomas? Where are they?
The commentators say that the Dudley boys have sustained injuries from Big Show. And that is a bold-faced Undertaker.
Nope, they were released. I think they were released by this time.
The on-TV reason. They're saying like, oh, the Dudleys got injured by the Big Show. But I'm sitting there thinking like, what a big fucking lie that is. The Dudleys are gone. They are gone from WWE, like we said. They will return in 2005 for a short stint with the ECW One Night Stand. But them Dudley boys, them damn Dudleys, they're making their way to TNA.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The promised land, as one of our friends would say. But yeah, no, Spike goes in there, and he's been Cruiserweight champion since before SummerSlam, I want to say. So he's had a pretty good run with this. The crowd is desperate for something to get into here. And Funaki is very much the unlikely. He's been a journeyman with WWE for quite some time. Never quite reaching, obviously Funaki wasn't going to win the WWE championship, because that would have been preposterous looking at it and like his gimmick as being an interviewer. But, it's, you wanted a feel good moment here. And like these two.
And I feel like Funaki definitely could have been, that baby face that everybody got behind. He could have put on like a really good, like Bryan Danielson like performance in this match, but there really wasn't nothing there. Like there's a point where the commentators are hyping up Funaki to do a really cool move, like a suicide dive or maybe a plancha. No, it's just a baseball slide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a baseball slide.
No explosive offense, no really like. They could have really worked Funaki like the underdog in this match, and they didn't. It was like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, didn't even get 10 minutes, but Funaki wants a tornado DDT, but Spike counters out of it. And literally, Funaki beats Spike Dudley with a victory roll and surprises the boss here. And Funaki, in the feel-good moment of the night, wins the Cruiserweight Championship, and the crowd mildly pops for it. Like, they don't really know how to react, necessarily, just probably because they've seen a shitty show up to this point. But, yeah, Funaki goes in there, and he actually hugs the commentary team at ringside, and they're like, oh, good for you, man. You deserve it. And I'm like, yeah, no, I thought as a kid, I was surprised. I was like, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll give it a 1.5 because I like Funaki.
Yeah.
I just wish he would have given us a little more.
1.5 as well. Decent enough match. And notice how none of our star ratings have gone above a 1.5 up to this point. This is a terrible show. Yeah. I know a lot of people like, well, I'll save that for the end, but thankfully we have this main event to come and save us. Sort of.
Yeah, it is a fatal four-way match for the WWE Championship. It is John Bradshaw Layfield defending against Eddie Guerrero, Booker T, and The Undertaker, the three ghosts of JBL's past since he's won the WWE Championship.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
It's actually a really cool concept. JBL comes out on SmackDown saying there's no one else for him to beat, but Eddie Guerrero has something to say about that. The Undertaker has something to say about that, and Booker T has something to say about that. All three men want shots at JBL's WWE Championship. JBL denies them, and Teddy Long comes out and says, all of your one-on-one requests have been denied, but you're going to be facing JBL in a fatal four-way match playa. It doesn't really work that way with the fatal four-way, but
yeah,
this is the biggest threat to JBL's championship since winning it. There is a great backstage segment going into this match where, like we talked about Amy Weber, she is the official consultant of JBL's cabinet. She comes up to JBL and says, like, no matter what, like, we're always going to be here for you. The Bashams come and give their condolences. Orlando Jordan comes up and gives condolences. And they send JBL out. Like, this man is going to die.
Yeah, basically, like, they look back. Dead man walking. Dead man walking, ironically enough, in a match involving The Undertaker. But, yeah, they treated that whole segment like JBL was, like mourning his lost child, yeah, and they were
sending JBL to the chair.
Yeah, they were sending him to Armageddon, if you will.
Yeah. So and the best part is JBL keeps looking back at them and they're just staring at him. And then as he's walking his way to the ring, he goes, damn it, and he puts his title around his shoulder. Like, he has no confidence that he's going to win this match. And why should he? Eddie Guerrero, Booker T, and The Undertaker. So I do like the story of this match, like Eddie and Booker wanting to form this alliance to either take down JBL or The Undertaker. Undertaker being a one-man power trip to get the WWE Championship. He has no allies in this. And JBL just trying to survive.
Yeah, it's a solid story, very Dickens-like, if you will, if JBL is Scrooge, going up against Eddie Guerrero, Ghost of Christmas Past, Booker T, Ghost of Christmas Present, Undertaker, Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. Fitting enough, because this is the December pay-per-view here. And these are all people that JBL has cheated out of the Undisputed Championship over, over the past 5-6 months that he's held on to that thing. But
Now, I
solid
can't
story
say
here.
this is a bad match because it's Undertaker, Booker T, Eddie Guerrero, and JBL. It's an interesting
Absolutely not.
combination of people. And this match, I will say, is absolute carnage from beginning to end. It felt like a Day of Reckoning match, if that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah.
Just a bunch of wrestlers punishing each other with a bunch of moves. And these guys, no slouches. There are stiff shots. There's really brutal spots in this match. You got, you get JBL powerbombing Booker T onto the announce table that is really stiff, and Booker did not take that powerbomb well at all. People are going into ring posts, steel steps, over the barricade. There's a ladder introduced at one point in the match.
Interesting enough, right? JBL also takes the last ride to the announce table. The last ride. No, okay, yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, Eddie was the one who introduced the ladder, by the way, which will be pivotal. It was solid. It was solid all the way around. I thought all these guys worked well together. One thing that did make me sad watching it was seeing the sequences between Eddie and Taker. Just sitting there knowing that we never got that one-on-one program when we probably should have gotten it over the summer if Eddie Guerrero still held on to the title and they kept Undertaker heel. One of the biggest what-ifs in wrestling history. What if JBL never won the title, and what if Eddie held on to it? Would there have been a summer program with Taker? We'll never know. We'll never know.
And was there a stipulation that the cabinet couldn't get involved in this match because there was a severe lack of cabinet?
Yeah, that was why they were having that segment there, was to shake JBL's hand and see him off, because they could not interfere. So,
but yeah, I will say some crazy spots in this match. Again, Eddie Guerrero and The Undertaker having an excellent sequence, ending with Eddie Guerrero hitting not one but two frog splashes on the Taker. Eddie's psychology is on fucking point. Like, he hits that frog splash and he immediately goes to the other turnbuckle with no time to waste because he knows one frog splash is not going to put down the dead man. Undertaker kicks out at a very close 2 count. Oh my God, I wish I could have got this match.
And Taker sits up, and Eddie's facial expression is the stuff of legend. Like, if you search for this match on YouTube, I think that's actually the thumbnail for that match, is Eddie just sitting there nervously looking at Taker like, you've done it now. You've gone and made a big mistake, Like, and then Taker beats the crap out of him some more. So Taker, oh God. So Booker T goes in there and he's a house of fire. He hits a scissors kick on Eddie Guerrero, a beautiful scissors kick.
He continues to play the underdog babyface perfectly, because I feel like that was Booker's best run, whether it be in WCW or facing Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship, or in this scenario, he's the guy they should have put the strap on, and it would have been the best feel-good moment ever. But here it is again. He hits the scissors kick, and the crowd is really behind Booker. We have always been behind Booker as a babyface. And they should have just, again, they should have struck it when it was hot. They should have struck gold with Booker T while he was hot.
Yep, but the iron cooled down a little bit too quickly for Booker T, unfortunately. JBL is, he's trying desperately to save his title at any given, any given opportunity, pulling the referee out of the ring while he's counting, for instance, Eddie Guerrero's pinfall attempts. JBL pinning all 3 guys when they're down. It's like one of my favorite tropes in like these multi-man title matches where the heel goes for a pin on one guy, he kicks out, and then he tries somebody else over there. And it's like, good storytelling, but Taker is standing dominant in the ring. Speaking of feuds that we wanted to see end, fucking Heidenreich comes in, beats the snot out of the dead man, and once again costs him the WWE title. I'm like, fucking hell, this feud is over.
They still make Heidenreich look like a chump because he hits the swinging side slam onto Undertaker, which I will say Heidenreich does perform pretty well. And Undertaker no-sells it. And he continues the match, and he tombstones JBL, and he's about to win the title, but then Heidenreich pulls Taker out of the ring, chloroforms him again, and that's what it takes to get Taker out of this situation. Without Undertaker there, it was no doubt that JBL was going to retain the WWE title.
No, not a doubt in my mind, but So I mean, I was still holding out hope. I was really still holding out hope that someone would beat JBL, sitting there as someone who is about to turn 8 years old the next day. But JBL goes and hits a clothesline from hell on Booker T. Eddie Guerrero cannot quite make it in time to save the 3 count. And once again, JBL escapes with the WWE Championship around his waist by the skin of his teeth. It was a fun fatal 4-way and easily the best match on this card. 3 3/4 stars for me. I had fun revisiting this one, man. I don't know about
Finally,
you.
something good on this show. Three and
Yeah.
three-quarter star main event. Do not watch this pay-per-view. Only watch this match. Even
Yeah.
if you're, even then, it's not the greatest main event in the world, but it's a really good main event. This show was fucking dog shit. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the lowest rated pay-per-view in the history of this retrospective. For me, I'm going to give this a 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10. 1.5 for me. I'm going to bump it up a little bit extra just because I liked watching the main event again. But yeah, there's really nothing noteworthy about this show. And looking at it, like, I know a lot of people shit on the Great American Bash, which is the same brand as well. It's a lot more notable just because of the Concrete Crypt match, but that's at least in a so bad it's good way. This
Also,
show is
we
just
got
bad.
a damn good Texas Bull Rope match between Eddie Guerrero and JBL. We got a damn good Cruiserweight title match from Rey and Chavo. There
Yep.
was some good on that show, believe it or not. But this
Yeah.
show, look at this fucking card.
Yeah.
Look at it. There's a Kurt Angle versus Santa Claus, a Dixie Dog Fight between two untrained boxers, a bonus match between Haas and Holly and the Bashams that got a boring chant. Cena absolutely demolishing Jesus.
It's
Don
so
Marie and Miss
bad.
Jackie going 1 minute.
It's so bad, isn't it?
Look at this card. It's not even
It's the
people
worst.
want to talk. People want to talk about Hell in a Cell 2019 and how they threw that card together in like 3 days. I get it, but at least even there, we got two really good matches in a match that I will defend to my grave in Randy Orton and Mustafa Ali. At least there is good wrestling on that show.
There
There's
is.
no good wrestling on this show.
The Texas Tornado match. You have the opening Hell in a Cell match between Becky Lynch and Mercedes Moné. The main event I thought was well wrestled up until the bullshit finish, but
Yeah.
you know,
Ali and Orton, I will not give up on defending that match. Ali and Orton was good.
I enjoyed that match live too. But yeah, this pay-per-view is way worse. Probably one of the worst pay-per-views we will talk about. Do not seek this show out unless you just want to watch the main event, which you can watch on YouTube. Yeah, cannot recommend avoiding Armageddon 2004 more. But yeah, man, we've made it through every single pay-per-view of 2004. That means 3 full years of this retrospective now. We've done 2002, 2003, and 2004 now. So what's the next logical step? You guys have asked, and you guys are going to receive it. 2005.
We're gonna do it anyway.
Yep, you're gonna do all 15 2005 pay-per-views. It's looking like, and we're actually next time on the retrospective, we're hopping back over to Puerto Rico, ironically enough, to look at New Year's Revolution, the inaugural New Year's Revolution. If you remember, a phenomenal elimination chamber on that show. Raw was in an interesting spot going into that card, and we will dig into that more. We have Double or Nothing at the end of the month, and we are currently in talks for our first ZNT Wrestling Show live stream. We're still figuring out the dates. We have a very special, awesome guest lined up, and I'm very excited to reveal. But yeah, it's going to be a fun time, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Hit that thumbs up also. Do you have anything else, Tomas, before we sign off?
Nope. Thank God we're done with this awful pay-per-view. Like I said, we got AEW coming up, and we have that very, very, very special review that I cannot wait to do. This is like a dream come true for me.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, final thoughts on 2004 before we send it off.
Pretty fucking terrible. I don't remember it being this bad. Man. At least on the SmackDown side, it was pretty bad, pretty underwhelming. It started off hot, but once we got to Judgment Day, the Great American Bash, Vengeance, even shows like Unforgiven, this show, Oh, Survivor Series, that was pretty underwhelming to me. It's just it
I
gets
like
better.
Survivor Series. I will defend that show. I will defend
It,
that show.
at least it gets better from here on out for the
Yeah,
most part.
2005, believe it or not, it might be like one of my favorite years that we get to talk about, even more so than 2002. I have so many memories with 2005.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't wait to dig into that with you. But yeah, subscribe if you haven't already, and see you guys on the next one. Take care.